Well, the Indy cars are set and rolling on a very wet day at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course as we're ready for the running of a most pivotal race in the PPG IndyCar World Series. It's the Red Roof Inns 200 presented by Budweiser. Hello. And Michael pulls ahead again. But this time they say, let's go with it. It's a green flag, and we're racing.
Michael did get the jump again, but look at Sullivan. He is closer this time, and he's on the outside line, but Michael looks safe. Now we're inside Al Jr.'s car. Look at that spray. Jr. running in third.
Unser Jr. dropped into third place on the start. Fittipaldi came in behind. There's what the view is for the leader, and you can see the difference. Already it looks like the Porsche off the track. Everybody else gets past easily as John Andretti sits by the edge of the circuit.
Unfortunate for John Andretti, he was the one that was not going to start with a wet setup. They decided to leave that car fully dry setup because these cars are so pitch sensitive. So maybe the dry setup caught John Andretti out in this first lap. Michael spray and then Al Jr. through two cars spray, and we see Emerson Fittipaldi in a fourth place. There, the further back you are, the worse the spray is.
And on the pit straight, several cars, Matsushita and Greenfield. And Matsushita, there's the onboard camera. You can see he's in a most precarious position.
He has actually stalled the car. Now, these cars do not carry onboard starters. That's why they must get push started every time. Sometimes the corner workers can get the job done. Sometimes the tow vehicle has to be sent out.
We're back at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, still under a full course yellow while they clean up the incident from Hiro Matsushita. And this is the onboard view when he and Michael Greenfield, and the report too is that A.J. Foyt became part of this situation, though he was able to continue on. And you can see Foyt way ahead on the course spins it, then Greenfield spins it, and Hiro spins it as well.
It looks like Hiro Matsushita was actually taking avoiding action when he got on the brakes to avoid the incident that he saw happening in front of him. It looks as if he locked his rear brakes, got into a simple spin. Now he is back underway in the Panasonic Dick Simon car.
You know, we do need to apologize to race fans for the rather incomplete information that we relayed at the Vancouver race. There have been a number of conversations in the past weeks to cure that problem, and we have been assured now that CART will always have accurate information given to us here on these broadcasts. So the green flag comes out, and Michael Andretti pulls away from Danny Sullivan, but it's Al Unser Jr. who is being challenged by the senior Andretti in a battle for third place. Mario Andretti to the high side.
Very, very brave move by Mario. Look at him trying to get around the outside, and that's the area that we said earlier on sometimes has more grip. So Mario did try it, but Junior gets the power on earlier and manages just to pull away those 3 or 4 car lengths.
Dean Hall, the number 19 car, comes off the course. The battle continues for third. Now for second place as Danny Sullivan tries to hold off Al Unser Jr. and can't do it. Mario Andretti is right there challenging as well, and again going to try an outside position. Is that a neat tactic? He's forcing him down to on a lesser surface.
Very, very brave move, and he did manage to pull it off. It's always a risky maneuver because you have to depend on the confidence of the man you're racing with, but Sullivan did see Mario outside and decided not to chop across, but a very brave and a good move by Mario Andretti.
Soften the springs so the car's a little more forgiving. It's not as rigid, so if you hit a rough spot or a ripple strip or something like that, it won't jump away from you and get you in more serious difficulty.
Mario Andretti in the first turn tried Al Unser Jr. to the inside. Looks like he's going to do it again. He's going to take the inside route coming down into the keyhole, and he gets down onto the concrete surface and sticks pretty good. But as you pointed out, Derek Daly, as he moves past little Al, you really have to trust the man you're alongside.
You really have to trust the man you race with. We saw Mario now use the inside. We mentioned earlier on, he seems to use whatever side he likes. But look at Al Jr. come down the inside, try to take that pass back.
Mario Andretti approaches this right-hand corner from the far outside, sweeps across the front end of Al Unser Jr. and maintains second place. Eddie Cheever moved from 12th, now runs in 7th. Roberto Guerrero started in 15th, now runs in 8th. So some drivers accustomed to the rain performing very well in it. Here's puts you in mind of the old Marlboro Challenge. There once again, that's where the old chicane was. And one of the Penske cars off, that's Fittipaldi, off and against the tire barrier. Now, doesn't look like there's any immediate damage to the car. The question is, can he get it unstuck?
Well, that's the problem now. Even if we get wrecker trucks in there, that ground is so soft because we've had so much rain that Emerson will first try and use the corner workers to try and get the car out of there, but he is going to sit there for as long as possible or as long as necessary. You see him gesturing there, get me going, push me fast.
And they're looking for some help to try to get Fittipaldi out of there. Taking a look at the start of the run, Michael Andretti led right from the green flag. His father Mario is in second, Al Unser Jr. third, Danny Sullivan fourth. Cheever comes up to fifth place now. Rahal in sixth, Roberto Guerrero seventh. Teo Fabi, the Porsche, is eighth. Scott Goodyear is in ninth. And Didier Tays having a spectacular run. He started 18th. He's now running up in 10th. With slightly different styles, but able to impart a great deal of information to one another.
I'm always a firm believer in two-car teams. Always.
There's Mario. Doesn't touch anything, gets back on. And that with the puddles on the course is just how fast it can happen. By the way, Fittipaldi did get a start and is back on the circuit. Because it's a little further up, we'll keep an eye on this for a moment. Al Unser Jr. tries to hold off Sullivan. Sullivan comes to the inside. Willie Ribbs off the course, and there's some serious damage to the right rear of that car, so it looks like his day may be ended.
His day is definitely done. We see heavy damage to that right rear suspension, so Willie T. Ribbs has yet another short day in the Rayner car.
He's having such a tough season. He really deserves a better first season in the IndyCars. He was running 16th as he... Back now, taking a look at that fight between Eddie Cheever and Bobby Rahal. It's a fight for fifth place. All of this is giving a tremendous advantage, by the way, to Michael Andretti. He's now pulled a good 14 seconds out ahead of second place Al Unser Jr. This three-way fight, there's Teo Fabi again challenging at the back of Rahal. And there's Tays, Didier Tays, the tune-up Masters car. There was a fellow we really expected would go very well in the rain. This is too bad.
Well, he all but did a rain dance this morning, trying to anticipate and trying to bring rain on, because of course the Buick engine does not have the type of horsepower that the Cosworth or the Chevrolet has. So they were hoping that the rain would equalize things. They wouldn't need the type of horsepower. But Didier Tays, his day may be done, because it's very, very hard to get out of those gravel pits.
He's still open, so that's not a place to maneuver.
And still extremely slippery. We saw Cheever when he put the power on. Little twitch, little correction of the steering wheel as he comes up past the pits. But look at Rahal, look at Fabi. He is all over Rahal.
Here comes Teo Fabi making a move to try to position himself down inside Rahal. He gets the job done, slides a little bit to the outside, and Rahal has to drop a little bit on the brakes to allow Teo Fabi to move into play. So Teo Fabi picks up sixth place from Bobby Rahal, but Rahal is right back, and he's going to try Teo Fabi as they're on the fastest section of the circuit. Coming down, slamming down through the gears and brakes into a right-hander. But he can hold him off. Teo Fabi continues to maintain just ahead of Rahal, and now sets his sights on Eddie Cheever.
What Fabi did there is he protected his position. He moved to the right side of the racetrack, so if Rahal was to make the pass, he had to go around the long way, around the outside, and of course that's virtually impossible. So Fabi took one corner to protect his position. Now he sets off after Cheever.
Back at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course, a battle for second place as Danny Sullivan drops in alongside of Al Unser Jr. and picks up second place. So Danny Sullivan now begins to quickly motor away from Al Unser Jr. And little Al almost casually changes gears as here comes a charge from Mario Andretti as well. Mario Andretti trying to get the advantage on the line, coming to a right-hander just ahead. Mario Andretti alongside little Al now, and Mario picks up third place. Little Al, in the course of just 3 corners, moves back 2 positions.
We saw Mario make some very brave moves earlier on, very, very deep under braking. He did exactly the same thing to Al Jr., took the line down the inside. The wetter line, make note of that, because that's a very slippery area. Still have the grip, so now Mario chases Sullivan.
Now Eddie Cheever gave up his battle with Rahal and Fabi, went into the pits and changed onto dry, slick tires. Apparently he's of the opinion that the course has dried sufficiently to warrant such a maneuver. So Cheever is out rolling on dry tires now. We have a watch on him, and we'll keep track of his progress as well. But a big change at the front of the field, though not in the first position. Michael Andretti still leads this race and is well out in front of the second place car. At the front of this field, it's Michael Andretti, Danny Sullivan, Mario, Al Unser Jr. all lined up together, and Mario now charging on Danny Sullivan, trying to use slower car placed just ahead to get around. That's Jeff Wood, of course, and A.J. Foyt just ahead of Jeff.
Of course, Sullivan hopes that he gets a clear run. Andretti, of course, hopes that Sullivan gets blocked. It all depends on how the luck of the draw, but Sullivan does get by Jeff Wood. Now tucks in behind Foyt, but Mario yes, he does. He sneaks down the inside of Jeff Wood.
Good presence for Jeff Wood, who was in fact in the battle with Foyt for 21st place at the time these leaders came up through the field. It was good thinking of Jeff once he saw that Danny was passed, to make sure that somebody else was there too, and make sure he gave him plenty of room.
Here's a traffic jam here. Mario was forced to go around the outside of A.J. Foyt, which there's nothing else he could do. That's the keyhole turn, but Al Jr. came down the inside. Now, look at how much he catches under braking. Down the inside, watching every move Mario makes. They both took down, clipped the apex, but Al Jr., I don't think quite has the speed to pass Andretti. Of exactly what the correct tire choice is, but we saw Cheever in a very difficult position right now because the track is almost dry, but he must go fast enough. Here's Mario, goes down the inside of Sullivan, so Mario does take the position away.
Mario grabs second place away from Danny Sullivan as he very smoothly moves to the inside, coming off the fastest section of the course, and now Mario comes back into second place. So an off-course excursion and back on the circuit. Now he has to set his sights on his son Michael, who is about 25 seconds ahead.
It's Elsa's hand as they're stopping, which can help them make their critical decision, and it could be a critical decision here.
And looking at that whole team aspect, Michael Andretti leads it as he comes down onto the pit road now. He has a 27-second lead over his father. Let's go to Lynn St. James.
Michael Andretti is in the pits. Everyone's over. They are going to change tires, but now they've decided not to change tires, to stay on the wet. He had called in that he wanted to go to slicks, but they don't have a problem. They just decided to stay on the...
Well, Michael Andretti roars back into the action as his father comes onto the pit straight. Michael may be able to hang on to the lead as he comes out here. Off onto the racetrack itself, watching for Mario to come closing in as well. Now Mario's well back. Michael makes his stop and maintains the lead. Good piece of work by the Newman Haas crew.
Very good work, but a very curious decision.
Let's go to Gary Gerald.
And Danny Sullivan is in. The dark clouds are here. It's not raining. They had slicks up, but they went to the rain tire. He'll stay on the wets. Everything appears to be routine. You wonder if they've leaned it down. A lot of flame coming from the exhaust port left rear. You hear the clutch engage as he spins away and showers everybody with moisture from pit road. Roberto Guerrero coming back in for the second time, furiously wiping at his visor, but he shut the engine down. He went out as they changed to dries. We thought they were maybe going to go back to rains, but that's not the case. They've got another problem that they're chasing right now. We'll have to try to find out what that may be as crew members work both front and rear of the car, and I'm wondering if they've got a problem with a brake or a shift linkage or something like that. We'll try to check and get a further update, Paul.
So Foster's Porsche right behind him.
This is the battle of the race right now because Rahal has been trying everything possible to get Fabi off his tail, and Fabi looking to go to the outside, down the inside.
Whoa, what a maneuver as Fabi comes in, locks his brakes, gets the back end loose, takes Rahal off as well.
A very, very brave move by Teo Fabi that didn't quite come off and managed to take both cars off the racetrack completely. Rahal in the mud, trying to keep the momentum going to get back on the racing line.
Well, that's exactly what he was thinking. It's like if you get off the road in the winter, you want to try and keep it rolling until you can get it back on dry pavement. Rahal did it, but Fabi came back on the course as well, maintained their same relative positions.
Same position, but most unusual lines they took for that last two corners.
What a spectacular move by Fabi, though, as he came by, and then you saw there was just enough moisture to lock up one of the tires.
That's what we mentioned earlier on. As soon as you move offline, it's a lot more slippery. That's where Fabi got down and got it way too sideways.
Another car off the edge of the course there, as the fight continues between Teo Fabi and Bobby Rahal for 7th place, and Teo is right back up there as they come onto the pit straight, charging once again. It's a nice sweeping turn to the left here. Not a real good passing position, but a great position to set up because you're running into a very definite braking maneuver just ahead.
Fabi is the faster car, but Rahal is very difficult to get by. Rahal protects his line, comes down the inside. Now Fabi tries to go around the outside again.
So Teo Fabi sits to the high side. Can't get past Rahal there, but very definitely got into the corner faster and maintained faster speed throughout the corner. It was just Rahal that had the better line. Now the fastest section of the course.
This is the type of racing you see on oval tracks when people go inside or outside.
Fabi tries it again to the inside. Didn't work last lap. This time he gets the job done and has passed Rahal. Maintains control of the car out of the corner. Rahal tries a different line to the outside. Remember Bobby Rahal, this used to be his home course. There's the other Porsche. That's John Andretti sideways on the circuit. This, when Rahal was racing for True Sports, they did all of their testing here. Rahal probably has thousands of more miles than any other other driver on this circuit, so he knows how the circuit changes and how he can take advantage of it. There was evidence of that. Way to do it, of course, is just watch the surface of the tires, and if they glisten, then you know there's too much moisture there for a dry tire. Here is Rahal as he comes toward the sweeper in the first turn, maneuvers past, picks up the place, so the fight continues. This time, advantage Rahal.
Fabi looked very slow onto that front straight, so we don't know whether he has a problem or not.
At the front of the field, it is still Michael Andretti. Unser Jr. rides in second. Mario is third. We'll be back. Here comes Bobby Rahal rolling on the pit road as Mario Andretti is in. Let's go to Lynn St. James.
They're in the pits just to change tires. That's all they're doing is changing 4 tires. They're also changing the front wing, raising it 1 click up.
Of course, that's Michael Andretti, was the leader of the race as he came flying in. He should be able to maintain his lead with that stop. Bobby Rahal came in as well. That was a change over to slick tires.
That was a gamble that almost didn't pay off as we watched Rahal make the change onto slick tires also. These are the drivers, remember, that didn't change not too many laps ago.
But Rahal, they let him sit there quite some time. And now he has to tiptoe his way out because he dampened those tires down pretty good as he came off the pit position. He'll have to wait until he sees they're no longer shiny before he can really turn on the power. And there comes Cheever flying past. One case, a change in refuel, and still stays out in front of this race, but you can see there's Mario right behind him as they work their way through the first turn. Mario Andretti now coming up to challenge his son to the inside.
Of course, the lead was lost with that second stop. Remember, Michael has stopped twice, Mario only once. Oh, Michael!
Michael loses and comes off into the gravel pit. Mario takes the lead. The kind of thing that Michael can't afford, but he keeps the car's momentum going. He tries to get back on the circuit. He certainly doesn't want to get stuck. He also has to watch for oncoming traffic. Now he can light it up, get those tires dry, and come back into the action. But Michael, a single little mistake, a pause of a second, and Michael loses the lead. Mario picks it up.
When they set these cars up to run in wet weather conditions, they turn the brake bias to the rear. We saw Michael lock those rear brakes. Perhaps he did not change back to a dry brake setting when he put those slicks on.
And that's just a little adjustment in the cockpit.
He can adjust it in the car. In fact, I would say he's probably adjusting it right now. Look at Cheever down the inside.
Eddie Cheever challenges to the inside and comes up into second place in doing so. So Cheever now in second place behind Mario Andretti. Michael drops back to third. Sullivan is in fourth. A very costly situation for Michael.
Very costly. He went off, in fact, at the keyhole where we saw Mario off earlier on. But Cheever, the man who took the early gamble, the first man to go on slicks, now his gamble is paying off handsomely.
Coming to top revs, the fastest port of the circuit.
175 miles an hour, almost 180 during qualifying here. This is the fastest part of the circuit. Down into the bottom right-hand corner. Second gear, Michael goes down the inside.
Michael tries it and bounces heavily over the inside speed bumps. And Cheever locks a brake coming into the corner, giving the advantage to Michael Andretti. So Michael Andretti, as Cheever makes a small mistake, locks up a wheel and flats a tire in doing so.
What happened is Michael came down the inside. Cheever cut down. Michael's wing hit Cheever's tire, gave him a puncture. Cheever now has lost virtually his steering and his braking. He has to go very slow. But Michael's front wing, I think, is broken.
Everyone else comes streaming past. You just got a glimpse of Rahal as he came past. What a terrible break for Eddie Cheever, who was having the best IndyCar race of his life. Now he'll fall steadily backwards. Michael Andretti moves into second place, but while he's been battling with Cheever, Mario has been able to move steadily away and protect his lead.
What an
And we expect the leader in the pits any time now.
And it is raining now, Paul, right outside our booth. It has started to rain, so Mears, who only just changed to slicks, might have missed it by 2 laps.
Let's go to Lynn St. James as Beekus comes off the track. Lynn.
Yes, Mario's decided to come in. They're putting rain tires on, getting a full load of fuel. No chassis change. Mario shook his head no. He did not want to change on the chassis. But first one out to make that rain tire switch.
Mario rolling and apparently will keep his lead as he comes back onto the circuit. It was just a sudden downpour. You look down 1 second, it wasn't raining, and the next second, over on the pit straight at least, heavy rain. Michael comes through the pits as well. There's Scott Goodyear with a quick spin. He's obviously on the dry tires. Everyone's going to have to go over to the wet tires if they're going to maintain any kind of adhesion at all. There's Boycell. He's coming out on some new label rain tires as well. So the rain over on the pit straight slowing everyone down. As water cascades across this course in some sections. There's Mario Andretti slowing down considerably now, tiptoeing, and he maneuvers his way around this circuit. Mario Andretti, the leader of the race. Michael Andretti runs in second. Unser Jr. as the course goes yellow all the way around. We'll be back with more after this. So the sun is shining over on the south side of the circuit. The green flag should come out here. There it is from Nick Pinaro. We're back racing again. So Michael has to work his way through some other cars. Jeff Wood, Boycell. There's Michael already around Fittipaldi and trying to close on his father.
Mario has the clear road. We can see that. Not very much standing water. A little bit there where the S's come up, but that's Boycell in the red car running third. That's Jeff Wood behind Mario. They are lapped cars. Michael needs to get past these two vehicles before he can attempt to make a pass on his dad.
There's Michael and closing in quickly. Fittipaldi and Michael did not battle long at all. Fittipaldi probably wisely said, "You're in the fight, go ahead and take the line," as Mario Andretti
picks fifth gear. Fifth gear, even in the rain, very dicey. 165 miles an hour, even in the rain. Down to second gear here, and very, very delicate use of the throttle, because we've seen many times this afternoon what can happen with too much power.
The Mid-Ohio Sports Car course, Michael Andretti challenges his father at the end of the long straight. They're side by side, working their way through the corners. This gives the better position to Mario, as Mario is able to forge away. Now, Michael comes to the inside. He has better position for just a moment, but Mario continues to hold on. Battle for the lead here. The course once again is drying, though it's still very wet in many sections. The changing course surface could affect these wet tires, grooved rain tires that most of these cars are now carrying. In fact, all of them. The report now, everyone is on the wet tires. And Michael came up to challenge Mario. Had him for just a second, but Mario would have none of it.
There is a no-holds-barred racing here. It's incredible to see your dad race so hard, chop you off if necessary. Now remember, Mario has not won a race for a long, long time. He would like to win the event. Michael would like to win the race because he's trying to catch Al Jr. for the championship. I wonder will Mario help his son or look after himself?
And as we look at the scenario, third place is Al Unser Jr. So Al vitally interested in the actions of these two. The worst possible scenario would be if the two of them get together and take one another out.
Well, that would not be the first time we've seen these two get together. I have seen front wings go astray from each other's cars before when one will not. Look at Mario get sideways. Now look how hard he is trying just to stay ahead of Michael.
Mario Andretti battling for all he's worth to keep his son back. Newman Haas team, boy, I wonder what they're thinking now as here comes Michael once again. This time it's pretty clear cut. Michael's all the way through, but can he get the car stopped smoothly into the corner? He does so. Mario comes in behind, but Mario is not going to give it up. He's going to try for position on the corner.
Michael is now doing what we saw Mario do earlier on, be extremely aggressive. Remember, look at Mario come down the inside, but Michael has that broken left front wing, but it doesn't really seem to make much difference right now.
Advantage to Michael Andretti now as he's back to the front of this field. 70.
Already with less than half a lap gone since he passed Mario. Here's Arie Luyendyk. Looking at Arie Luyendyk.
Luyendyk off the course trying to get a push to get back on it. He was up well into the top 10. 7th place, his last reported position, but he's dropping steadily backwards now as well.
Hard to remember. Cheever gets on the brakes first at the next turn, and Sullivan close it right back up again.
White flag. Michael Andretti is on the final lap. Just 2¼ miles to go. His father will come across the line again about 10 seconds back. The race, though, is not over yet. Remember, Michael still has that problem with the wing. Remember that the course is still very damp in some places, very dry in others, so anything could happen. Michael Andretti, you see him now in the cockpit. He knows that he is very close to the finish at this point and could score the win here today, and that will put him strongly back in the points fight. Remember that Michael Andretti, during qualifying, drove, as Derek Daly pointed out, his car head-on into a tire barrier, had to sprint to get to the backup car. In fact, ward off the doctors who wanted to look at him. They got their examination done. He went right into the backup car and qualified in the last lap of qualifying, taking the pole away from Danny Sullivan, who had been quick time up to then. Now, with an excursion off the course, with all of the rain, then the dry, then the rain again, it's been a very long weekend for Michael Andretti, and it looks like it is about to pay off. as he circles on the last lap.
And those hardened enthusiasts might remember Fabi had a big crash in practice last year. He used his spare car for the pole and went on to win the race. Almost a carbon copy of this year.
So Michael Andretti, the Kmart, Haviland Lola, turning now into the carousel. One more left-hand turn to go. Twin checkered flags now fly for Michael Andretti, who wins here at Mid-Ohio, and his father will come across the line in second place. We watch for his dad to come across, and Michael wins it. Mario finishes in second. Unser Jr. will come across the line in third place, and Danny Sullivan and Eddie Cheever will battle to the line. There's Michael, the winner. There comes Unser Jr. He's finished in third place, now with 182 PPG points. And Sullivan is coming at that. Now there's Mario Andretti. We're looking now to see, as we see Fittipaldi, we're looking for Cheever and Sullivan. And Sullivan's going to try Cheever in the carousel. Cheever holds the line. One more turn for this fight. And Cheever leads Sullivan to the checkered flag. Eddie Cheever finishes in fourth place. Sullivan in fifth.
A very, very eventful day. We saw all sorts of things happen. Collisions, tire changes, leaders off course.
It's career win number 13 for Michael Andretti, the winner of the Red Roof Inns 200. We'll be back to talk with Michael right after